Good afternoon and welcome to your daily mobility flow. I'm Josh and we're going to take you through a little bit of upper back mobility today. So especially if you're feeling a lot of tension kind of through the neck, feel it in the shoulder blades as well. We're just going to be working through some movements today that are going to help with not only the mobility of it, but also the strengthening of the areas that are weak. So we're going to start with a few stretches, and then from there we will progress through to some strengthening exercises for the upper back. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to start in our all fours tabletop position. We're going to make sure the shoulders are directly over top of the hands. These are directly underneath the hips, and we're going to untuck the toes. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to perform a cat-cow. So our cow, we're going to breathe out, pull our belly button up towards the ceiling, tuck our glutes underneath and push the floor away. And we breathe in. Through that nose, we're going to pull those shoulders down, lifting the chest and the chin. Breathing out, pull that body back up and squeeze those glutes underneath. Good. Keep going through that. Breathing in. Pull the shoulders down and lift the chin and chest out. Breathing out. Good. And just find your own movement and flow through this here. See where it feels good. We feel the stretch. You can always shift and rotate the hips if you want to. Good. From there, we're going to stay in that tabletop position. We're just going to push our hips back there. We're going to take our right arm and thread it underneath the left. Okay, it's going to give us a nice stretch through our thoracic spine. So as I'm reaching my arm through, I'm pushing my hips back towards my feet and just holding here. Nice calm breaths. When we're in stretches, we want to breathe into the area that we're feeling. Stretch in. Try and relax into it. If you're unable to relax, maybe just release it a little bit. Good. So come back up to the center. Push those hips back once again. I'll take the left side. So for me, my left side is a little bit tighter than my right. I'm just going to take a little bit more time in this, just sitting and breathing. This way. Back to center, so we're going to come back up into that tabletop. We're going to walk our hands about one hand length forward, and we're going to drop our hips back into child's pose. From here, we're going to really weight down. Think about pulling the elbows and the hips down into the ground. From here, we're actually going to pull through our hands and drag our body up the mat. Come through. Once we're over top of the hands, we're going to lift that chest, untuck the toes, and push that floor away, pushing those shoulders away from our ears. We want to keep those shoulders pulled back towards the hips, but push them down towards the ground. From here, we're going to push the hips back towards the feet again. Just got a little cramp on my toes. Back into that child's pose. Once again, drag up, down. Once our chest gets to our hands, drop those hips down, lift that chest, push the ground away, pull those shoulders back towards the hips. I'm going to do 2 more times here. So we're going to drop those hips back, pause for a second, then we're going to drag ourselves up that mat, lift that chest, pull those shoulders down. Lots of cracking today. This is my first time practicing today. And one more time, dropping those hips back. Good, dragging it down. Lifting that chest up. Good. From here we're going to sit our weight back on our heels. We're going to walk the hands either side. And we're just going to curl our toes under and roll up into our chair pose. So if you want, you can walk yourself on the mat. From here, what we're trying to do, we're trying to keep those knees bent. We want to pull those shoulders down into our back pockets and think about lifting our chest towards the front. From here, with our thumbs up and palms facing, we're wanting to pull those shoulders down and just raise up in there. Now yours might look a little bit different to mine, but just follow those cues, wherever feels most comfortable. If you feel like you need to stand a little bit taller, it's absolutely fine as well. Just breathing. Keep breathing. Try and pull those hands back a little bit more. Try not to arch the back too much. We want to keep that core nice and engaged, but just pull those thumbs as high as we can while keeping those shoulders pulled down towards our hips. Good. We're going to bring the hands back down. We're going to walk ourselves forward and come back into our tabletop position. From here, we're going to go into one of our staple movements for our stability through our, what we call our posterior chain. So we're going to pull the belly button up, just slightly tuck the glutes under. We're not trying to round the back like crazy. From here, we're going to reach the right arm forward, extend the left leg back. So we want to curl the toes under, make sure we're pushing through the heel. Really reach that right arm as far forward as we can. Once we're in that position, keep the belly button pulled up into the spine. Push the ground away with that left hand, holding. Keep breathing. It's a very tough movement for me today. Bring it back into the center. Other side, so we're going to reach that left arm forward, kick that right leg back, driving the heel to the back wall, pull the belly button up into the spine. Push the ground away with the right, and hold. And back to center there. Shake it out, move the hips around. I'm going to do that one more time each side. This time holding on your own. So we're going to reach that right hand forward, kick that left leg back, and hold through there. Bring it in, take a second, swap to the other side, push that left hand forward, and extend that right leg back. Good. From there we're going to release. We're just going to come down to the elbows now. We're going to come to an elbow plank position. So we can either be on the knees, okay, with those glutes tucked underneath, or if you want to progress it, just lift those knees up off the ground. The really important thing here is that we do maintain that tuck in the glutes and almost like a little crunch through the abdominals. So just going to come to the knees, we're going to tuck those glutes and crunch those abdominals. From here, we're going to lower the chest down by squeezing our shoulder blades together. And we're going to push through the elbows and push the chest away from the ground. Okay, go through that again, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then push that ground away with the elbows. The only movement should be coming from the shoulders. That's what we call our scapula, what you might know as your shoulder blades. Slowly squeezing together, okay, and then coming apart as we push away. Good, we're going to go for a few more repetitions there. Push it away. Squeeze, push, and final one. Squeeze, push there, bring the hips down to the mat. Untuck the toes, elbows underneath the shoulders, and we're just going to sit in Sphinx pose. Breathe and relax. Everything start to calm down a little bit. Alrighty, one more pose to go. So we're going to lower ourselves all the way down to the mat, and we're going to have our elbows in at our sides, okay, palms facing down. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to keep the elbows on the ground. We're going to lift our hands up as much as we can, okay, and then we're going to lift the chest off of the ground, pulling our shoulders almost into the opposite back pocket. So I'm thinking about pulling my right shoulder into my left back pocket and my left shoulder into my right back pocket. Hold and squeeze. Keep the glutes nice and active here. If you do feel the lower back, you are more than welcome to take the feet a little bit wider and lower down. Shake out the hips if you need to. We're going to go into one more hold. Okay, so we're going to elbows in at the sides. We're going to lift those hands and squeeze those glutes and those shoulder blades down and back into our opposite back pockets. Keep breathing. Good. And lower down now. If you want to, let's come into Sphinx pose for just a final hold here. I want to think about pulling those shoulder blades down and back into our back pockets still, and lifting the chest up and through. Try and relax as much as you can, keep the glutes nice and active, and slowly start to bring the breath down. Take some time to thank yourself for turning up today, getting on the mat, or whatever apparatus you're using to do this. But taking the time out of your day is the most important thing. Always good to do things for yourself. Video is just going to end here. If you want to stay in Sphinx pose for a little bit longer, you are more than welcome to. I have plenty more videos coming for you guys. Apart from that, thank you for joining me, and hope you have an amazing rest of your day.